Hello, what's the secret for today? We will tell you the Grand Canyon hides an active uranium mine near tribal land and drinking water, and just miles away, scientists uncovered 40,000-year-old sloth dung that still smelled. From Cold War bunkers to vanishing bodies, these are the strangest, most jaw-dropping discoveries ever made in the canyon. Let's dig in. South of the Grand Canyon's south rim lies the Tusayan ruin, an ancient settlement built around the year 1185, likely by the ancestral Puebloans, private ancestors of the Hopi, Zuni, and other Pueblo tribes. Excavations revealed a compact village with farming fields, stone and wood homes, storage rooms, and 2 ceremonial kivas. The south-facing plaza helped capture warmth in winter, while storage areas preserved dried food for survival. Due to the dense Kaibab limestone, the kivas, traditionally built below ground, were shallow. In the 1930s, archaeologists from Gila Pueblo in Globe, Arizona, excavated the site under the National Park Service. They built a nearby museum and agreed to preserve half the recovered artifacts locally. The result was the Tusayan Museum, opened in 1932, originally called the Wayside Museum of Archaeology. It highlights the histories of the Hopi, Hualapai, Havasupai, Paiute, and Navajo tribes. A key exhibit includes split twig figurines, small animal forms dating back 2,000 to 4,000 years, found in Grand Canyon caves, offering insight into early native ceremonial life. But what if one of America's most iconic landscapes is also home to a ticking environmental time bomb? Next. The Grand Canyon is more than a natural wonder. It's the cultural homeland of at least 11 Native American tribes. Yet, despite its significance, the region faces an ongoing threat: uranium mining. Uranium is found in rare vertical rock formations called breccia pipes. Mining in the area began in the late 1870s and expanded in the 1950s with the Orphan Mine, located 2 miles from Grand Canyon Village. Since then, at least 8 mines have operated nearby. One of them, Pinyon Plain Mine, formerly Canyon Mine, is currently under development and sits near vital groundwater sources. A uranium price surge in the mid-2000s led to a rush of claims, with thousands filed by the end of the decade. By May 2022, nearly 600 claims remained active near the park. The Havasupai tribe, whose reservation lies inside the canyon, depends on Havasu Creek for water and ceremonies. They fear contamination from nearby mines. In response, a 20-year ban on new uranium claims was enacted in 2012 across 1 million acres, but it's temporary. Permanent protections are still pending in Congress, leaving the Grand Canyon's future uncertain. If that wasn't unsettling enough, wait until you hear what's buried in the canyon's shadowy caves. Some of it still smells after 40,000 years. Most people don't realize that the Grand Canyon's cliffs are lined with ancient caves holding fossils from over 40,000 years ago. Thanks to Arizona's dry climate, bones, dung, and plant material have stayed incredibly preserved, offering scientists a window into the Ice Age. One of the most significant sites is Rampart Cave, found in 1936 near the canyon's western edge. Inside were massive dung piles from the now extinct Shasta ground sloth, which stood about 9 feet long and weighed 500 pounds. Radiocarbon dating revealed the droppings were between 11,000 and 40,000 years old. Plant matter in the dung showed the sloth's diet included globe mallow, Mormon tea, saltbush, catclaw, cactus, reeds, and yucca. Researchers also found woodrit middens and skulls of Harrington's mountain goat, a short-haired, smaller relative of modern goats, first described by paleontologist Chester Stock. These animals went extinct near the end of the Ice Age. Mummified bats and California condors were also discovered. According to biologist Stephen D. Emsley, some condor bones still had preserved tissue. Chemical analysis showed they fed on megafauna before both species vanished with their ecosystem. Now let's shift from ancient remains to something far more attractive, bodies that vanished without a trace, only to reappear years later. In September 2021, park rangers at Grand Canyon National Park discovered the body of Gábor Tomszányi, a 45-year-old Hungarian man, about 430 feet below Havasupai Point on the south rim. He had been reported missing to Las Vegas police, and his car was found near the park's visitor center. While recovering his remains, authorities made another shocking find: the body of Scott Walsh, who had disappeared in 2015 after exiting a shuttle bus on the south rim. His body, found nearly 5 kilometers away, had remained undetected for years due to difficult terrain and camouflage in the rocky environment. Experts point to the Grand Canyon's complex geology, especially the Great Unconformity, a billion-year gap between rock layers, which creates natural voids and makes detection challenging. During later explorations, a box-like object was reportedly recovered deep in the canyon. Though its origin is unknown, some speculate it could be linked to ancient indigenous practices or legends like the Mogollon Monster. The box, however, remains unopened, fueling more mystery beneath the canyon's surface. And while mysteries hide in the rocks, a more visible crisis is unfolding in plain sight, one that threatens life far beyond the canyon's edge. Before we continue, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just press the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It means the world. It really supports this channel. And if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. Deal? The Colorado River begins in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado and flows about 1,450 miles to the Gulf of California and Mexico. Along the way, it carved the Grand Canyon, one of Earth's greatest natural wonders. Today, the river faces a severe crisis. Decades of overuse and prolonged drought, intensified by climate change, have pushed its major reservoirs to record lows. Glen Canyon Dam, completed in 1963, created Lake Powell. Built for water storage and hydropower, the reservoir's levels have dropped so much that power production is nearly halted and water releases are at risk. Downstream, Lake Mead, the largest reservoir in the United States, shows visible mineral bathtub rings as levels continue to fall. These conditions threaten water supplies to cities like Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Diego, and Las Vegas, and to communities in northern Mexico. Environmental groups are calling for urgent upgrades to Glen Canyon Dam's infrastructure to maintain river flow, even at low levels. Without action, both the Colorado River and the Grand Canyon's delicate ecosystem may face irreversible damage. Yet, despite these threats, one community continues to thrive deep within the canyon walls. How do they live in one of the most remote places in America? Next. The Havasupai tribe, or Havasupai, meaning people of the blue-green water, live in Supai Village deep in Havasu Canyon, a tributary of the Grand Canyon. As of 2025, it remains the only U.S. location where mail is delivered by mule. Historically, their territory stretched from Bill Williams Mountain to the Little Colorado River. Seasonally, they lived on the Coconino Plateau in fall and winter to hunt, and farmed in the Tonto Platform, including Indian Garden, in spring and summer. They grew corn, beans, squash, melons, and pumpkins, and built shelters of willow and thatch near fields. Beds were oriented east, believed to ward off bad dreams. The Havasupai first encountered Europeans in 1776, when Francisco Garces visited Havasu Canyon. In 1903, Theodore Roosevelt informed residents at Indian Garden of plans for a national park. Some relocated, but by 1928, the National Park Service had forcibly removed all families. Confined to 518 acres, the tribe later regained 185,000 acres in 1975, signed into law by President Gerald Ford. Today they continue their legacy through farming, tourism, and local labor, maintaining ties to a homeland they've inhabited for over 8 centuries. Would you be able to live in a place where your only connection to the outside world is a mule delivering your mail? Why or why not? Let the comments roll in. Although not in the Grand Canyon, Horseshoe Canyon in southeastern Utah, west of Green River and north of Canyonlands National Park, holds one of the Southwest's most mysterious archaeological sites. Known for its barrier canyon-style rock art, the site features vivid pictographs painted by early indigenous peoples using natural pigments. Dating back as far as 9,000 years ago, the art is linked to Paleo-Indian hunters who once pursued mammoths and mastodons across the region. Indigenous occupation of the area continued until around 1300 AD. The canyon's most iconic panel, the Great Gallery, stretches roughly 200 feet long and 15 feet high. It showcases dozens of life-sized figures, some reaching 7 feet tall, with elongated bodies, eyeless faces, and no arms. The images are haunting, and their purpose remains unknown. Archaeologists continue to study the site, which offers rare insight into ancient belief systems and symbolic expression. Though far from the Grand Canyon, Horseshoe Canyon is a powerful reminder of how deeply human history is etched into the rock of the American Southwest. During the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, the Grand Canyon caverns near Peach Springs, Arizona, were designated as a civil defense shelter. Roughly 220 feet underground, the shelter was stocked with food and water to support more than 2,000 people for up to 30 days in case of nuclear fallout. Although often linked to President John F. Kennedy's Civil Defense Initiative, there's no official record that he commissioned this site directly. Instead, it was one of many private shelters prepared during the Cold War era. Thanks to the cavern's dry, stable conditions, the emergency ration stayed preserved for over 4 decades. No mold, insects, or rodents could survive the environment, making it an ideal storage site. Today, the shelter has been transformed into the Grand Canyon Cavern Suite, the deepest hotel room in the United States. Surrounded by 65-million-year-old limestone, it includes beds, a lounge, books, and even a record player. Running water is provided by hauling in containers. While part of a guided tour, guests can stay overnight for around $900, experiencing both Cold War history and geological wonder. But beneath the luxury lies something far older, a towering wall of stone that captures secrets from hundreds of millions of years ago. One of the most distinctive layers in the Grand Canyon is the Coconino Sandstone, named after Coconino County, Arizona. This pale, cliff-forming rock is visible throughout the canyon and stretches across the Colorado Plateau, including parts of Arizona, Utah, Nevada, and northwestern Colorado. Formed about 275 million years ago during the early Permian period, the Coconino Sandstone is made mostly of fine quartz grains, with some feldspar and trace minerals. It originated from vast desert dunes, now preserved as cross-bedded stone. Its thickness varies, around 65 feet in the west, up to 600 feet in the central Grand Canyon, and narrowing to about 57 feet in the east. What makes this formation remarkable is its preservation of prehistoric features. Scientists have found fossilized footprints, ripple marks, raindrop impressions, and ancient dune structures, providing rare insight into the arid climate and animal activity of that time. Far from just another rock layer, the Coconino Sandstone serves as a geological record of life and landscape nearly 300 million years in the making. The Grand Canyon spans about 277 miles in length, up to 18 miles wide, and over 1 mile deep. More than a natural wonder, it's a geological record revealing nearly 2 billion years of Earth's history. Around 70 million years ago, during the Laramide orogeny, tectonic forces uplifted the Colorado Plateau, raising the land without heavily distorting the rock layers. This set the stage for the canyon's formation. Roughly 5 to 6 million years ago, the Colorado River began cutting through the plateau. As it carved deeper, it exposed stacked layers of sandstone, limestone, and shale, each marking a different chapter of Earth's past. Erosion was accelerated by climate changes. Colder periods brought freeze-thaw cycles, while warmer phases increased water flow. Harder rock layers, such as Coconino Sandstone, resisted erosion, forming cliffs. Softer layers formed slopes. Even now, the Colorado River continues shaping the canyon, making the Grand Canyon a rare living archive of geological processes and planetary evolution. And nestled deep within those walls is a village unlike any other in the U.S., where the mail still arrives by mule. Supai Village, the capital of the Havasupai Indian Reservation, is located deep in Havasu Canyon, a remote side canyon of the Grand Canyon in Coconino County, Arizona. Home to about 200 residents, Supai is one of the most isolated communities in the United States and the only place where mail is still delivered by mule. Accessible only by foot, horseback, or helicopter, the village is surrounded by dramatic red rock cliffs, turquoise pools, and two of the region's most iconic waterfalls, Havasu Falls and Mooney Falls. Tourism is allowed but strictly managed through tribal permits and reservations, required for both hiking and overnight stays. The journey to Supai begins at Hualapai Hilltop, followed by an 8-mile descent into the canyon. Despite its isolation, Supai offers visitors a rare experience of indigenous culture and some of the most stunning scenery in North America, a blend of ancestral tradition and natural wonder that continues to define life in the canyon today. A fossil that raises eyebrows, a coiled nautiloid, found embedded in the Kaibab Formation near the Grand Canyon. While it might seem unusual to find an ancient sea creature in the middle of Arizona, the explanation lies in the canyon's deep past. Roughly 270 million years ago, during the Permian period, this region was submerged beneath a shallow tropical sea. Over time, sediment built up on the seafloor and eventually formed the limestone layers that now make up much of the canyon's upper walls. The fossil itself belonged to an ancient cephalopod, a distant ancestor of modern squid and octopuses. It likely crawled along the seafloor, using its tentacles to capture prey. What makes this specimen especially significant is that it's a holotype, the first fossil used to formally define and describe a new species. While the species name might be a challenge to pronounce, its presence offers direct evidence that the Grand Canyon was once part of a thriving marine ecosystem, one long vanished beneath millions of years of geological change. If you found a sea creature fossil in the middle of a desert, what's the first theory that would pop into your head? Ancient ocean, alien relic, or something even stranger? Let us know in the comments below. Megatherium, a massive ground sloth from South America, lived around 5 million years ago during the Pliocene epoch. It stood upright, weighed up to 4 tons, and was the largest bipedal mammal to ever live. Though mostly herbivorous, some scientists believe it may have scavenged or defended territory aggressively. In contrast, a smaller Ice Age species, the Shasta ground sloth, lived in the Grand Canyon during the Pleistocene epoch, when the region was cooler and covered in vegetation. These sloths thrived on plant life in the area. A major discovery occurred in Rampart Cave, near the Colorado River at the canyon's western end. Inside, archaeologists found fossilized skulls, clumps of fur, and even mummified dung, preserved for over 11,000 years due to the cave's dry, stable conditions. Remarkably, the dung still retained its scent when first uncovered, offering an unusually vivid connection to one of the canyon's ancient inhabitants. But even today, dangers persist. One of them flows through the water you might drink on your next visit. In August of 2023, the National Park Service confirmed the presence of E. coli bacteria in the drinking water system near Phantom Ranch, a historic site located at the bottom of the Grand Canyon along Bright Angel Creek. Phantom Ranch is the only lodge within the canyon itself and is accessible only on foot, mule, or raft. Escherichia coli, commonly referred to as E. coli, is a group of bacteria naturally found in the intestines of humans and animals. While most strains are harmless, some can cause serious illnesses such as gastroenteritis, urinary tract infections, pneumonia, and in rare cases hemolytic uremic syndrome, a potentially life-threatening condition. The detection of E. coli in the Phantom Ranch water system indicated fecal contamination, likely from animal activity or upstream surface runoff. This prompted warnings advising visitors not to drink untreated water from any creek, pool, or tap unless it had been boiled, filtered, or chemically treated. The Grand Canyon National Park continues to monitor water quality in backcountry areas, reminding all hikers and campers that natural water sources, no matter how clear, may still contain harmful microorganisms. And while water runs through the canyon, so does wonder. One towering formation even carries the name of a Hindu god. Standing at 7,533 feet, Vishnu Temple is a prominent summit in Grand Canyon National Park, located in Coconino County, Arizona. Named in 1880 by Clarence Edward Dutton of the U.S. Geological Survey, it honors Vishnu, the Hindu god of preservation. Dutton, inspired by the formation's pagoda-like shape, began naming Grand Canyon features after global mythological deities, including Shiva, Brahma, Zoroaster, and Wotan. Geologically, Vishnu Temple showcases layers of Kaibab limestone, Coconino Sandstone, Hermit Shale, and Supai Group, formed over 250 million years ago. These rock strata, sculpted by erosion and uplift, represent vast periods of Earth's geologic history. Though the name is symbolic rather than religious, it reflects Dutton's intent to match the canyon's grandeur with timeless, cultural references. Today, Vishnu Temple remains both a geological marvel and a monument to the canyon's blend of science, story, and stone. You've heard of cheetahs in Africa, but what if we told you one once prowled the Grand Canyon? Stay tuned. During the last ice age, the Grand Canyon was far more temperate than it is today. Cooler and wetter conditions supported a landscape rich in vegetation, which in turn attracted a wide range of herbivores and the predators that hunted them. Among those predators was the now extinct American cheetah, scientifically known as Miracinonyx trumani. This species, which resembled the modern African cheetah in body structure but was more closely related to cougars, roamed across western North America until its extinction near the end of the Pleistocene epoch, around 12,000 years ago. In a notable discovery, researchers re-examining bones from a Grand Canyon cave found that specimens previously labeled as mountain lion remains were actually from American cheetahs. The cheetahs likely did not die in the cave. Rather, their bones appear to have been dragged in by scavengers such as dire wolves, smaller carnivores, or birds of prey, a behavior consistent with Ice Age cave assemblages. This correction has helped paleontologists better understand the full range of predators that once roamed the Grand Canyon region, adding a new chapter to its already complex prehistoric ecosystem. If you came face to face with a predator that looked like a cheetah but had the instincts of a cougar, do you think you'd freeze, run, or try to outsmart it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. The Chiricahua leopard frog, known for its green body and dark spots, was first described in 1882 in the Chiricahua Mountains of southeastern Arizona. Today it survives in scattered habitats across Arizona, New Mexico, and northern Mexico, including parts of the Grand Canyon, such as Bright Angel Creek. This amphibian, scientifically named Lithobates chiricahuensis, was listed as threatened under the Endangered Species Act in 2002. It has vanished from over 80% of its historical range due to prolonged drought, loss of wetland habitats, the spread of the deadly chytrid fungus, and invasive predators like bullfrogs and non-native fish. efforts by the National Park Service, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and the Arizona Game and Fish Department are underway to protect and reintroduce populations in critical habitats. As a species highly sensitive to water quality and ecosystem change, its decline highlights broader environmental challenges facing freshwater life in the Southwest. One of the strangest legends tied to the Grand Canyon is that of the Mogollon Monster, Arizona's version of Bigfoot, said to inhabit the dense forests along the Mogollon Rim, a cliff stretching over 200 miles from Havasupai County to New Mexico. The creature is described as tall, hairy, red, and foul-smelling. The first reported sighting near the Grand Canyon came in 1903, when I.W. Stevens, a prospector, described a large, man-like creature with great strength and stealth. In the 1940s, Don Davis, on a Boy Scout trip near Payson, claimed to encounter a towering, square-faced beast with shaggy hair, 2-inch claws, and an odor like rotting meat. It reportedly mimicked animal sounds and let out screams resembling a woman in distress. Most descriptions agree the creature stands over 7 feet tall, walks upright, and gives off a disturbing stench. While cryptid believers cite these traits as proof, scientists and wildlife officials remain unconvinced, attributing sightings to bears or hoaxes. Yet to this day, hikers report strange sounds and tracks, keeping the Mogollon Monster alive in Arizona's folklore. Even in the darkest corners of the Grand Canyon, life adapts, and some creatures are unlike anything you've ever seen. Between 2005 and 2007, scientists exploring a cave in the Grand Canyon Parashant National Monument, located on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, discovered 2 small arachnids that initially resembled scorpions. After 7 years of taxonomic research, these creatures were confirmed as a previously undocumented species of Pseudoscorpion, now formally named Hesperochurns bradybaugh in honor of wildlife biologist Jeff Bradybaugh. Unlike true scorpions, pseudoscorpions do not have a venomous tail. Instead, they possess venom glands in their pincers, which are used to immobilize prey. These particular cave-dwelling pseudoscorpions are troglobites, organisms specially adapted to life in total darkness. As a result, they have no eyes, pale exoskeletons, and heightened sensory limbs for navigation. Measuring only about 2 inches in length, they are harmless to humans but play an important ecological role in cave food webs. Their discovery highlights the biodiversity of the Grand Canyon's lesser-known ecosystems and underscores the importance of protecting fragile subterranean environments. And finally, let's return to the roots. Ancient twigs, delicately folded into forms that hint at beliefs thousands of years old. What were these mysterious figurines really for? In 1933, archaeologists discovered split twig figurines in multiple caves within Grand Canyon National Park. Made from a single willow twig split and wrapped into animal shapes, mainly deer and bighorn sheep, these artifacts date back between 2,000 and 4,000 years, caught into the late Archaic period. Recovered from at least 12 sites, including Rampart Cave, Trinity Canyon, and Nankoweap. The figurines are believed to have had a ritual purpose, possibly related to hunting magic. Many were found intentionally broken and placed in secluded chambers, reinforcing their ceremonial use. Similar figurines have been found across the American Southwest, from Arizona to Utah and Nevada, and are classified into 2 styles: the Grand Canyon style and the Green River style, each with distinct wrapping techniques and figure shapes. Far from toys or decorations, these artifacts reveal symbolic behavior among early hunter-gatherer groups and stand as some of the oldest known ritual objects in the region's archaeological record. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I hope you'll love this content. Comment below about the next topic you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.